Hey nerds, Bevan here. Welcome to my channel. Check out the new background! Yeah! Yeah, I rearranged my office. I got a lot more space in here. It's a lot more work friendly. So hopefully I can get a bit more stuff done in here. Maybe I'll give you another video some point in the near future. Maybe not. Undecided. If you want to see a new office tour, hit the like button. That way I know people are actually interested in it. As promised, but a few days late, I'm here to talk about Game of Thrones Season 6 and what I didn't like about it. Now you guys know me, I'm not an advocate of negativity. I hate when people just kind of shit on stuff. I like preaching and praising the things I like. But Game of Thrones is on like a different level. I am so into this franchise. I just want it to be perfect. So this is not me shitting on things. This is constructive criticism and or things I would have liked to see. So what's up with Dorne? Like, they didn't do anything this season. Dorne was like semi-featured in the first 2 episodes, I think, and they ended up killing the prince, and then they didn't really show up again until the end of the season when they were talking about aligning themselves with the Martells and then eventually with the Targaryens. It's so weird because like in the books, Dorne's like a big part of A Feast with Crows, which is the 4th book, but in the show they've really done nothing, which is, that's whatever. And now, because they've left Dorne to go fight the fucking Lannisters, we're not going to see any more of it anyway, so what does it even matter? What am I talking about? There was that one scene at the beginning of the season where Melisandre, to end the episode, she was in her room, she was alone, she took off all her clothes, and she was like young and hot still. Then she took off like her big ruby necklace and she was like super old. And then she went to bed and nothing else came of that. Like, I thought this would be like a storyline throughout the season, but she just like was old and nothing came of it. Like, no one caught her, no one suspected anything of it. She didn't struggle with any magic, because that was a theory going around, is that, oh, she's super old and she's using all her magic to keep this young appearance, so she's maybe gonna fuck up some other magic, but she never did. She didn't do anything, like the whole season. Which is a shame, because in the early seasons when she was there with Stannis, I found her so intriguing. Like, she had really cool stuff to do and just hasn't the last couple of seasons. And Arya Stark, she ended the season really well, like I talked about in my last video, but the whole season leading up to that didn't really even lead up to that. Like, if you look at the story arc as a whole, it plays out pretty well. The whole thing is that she's at the House of Many Faces, or the God of Many Faces, or whatever it was, and she has to admit that she's nobody so that she can wear the different faces so she can, like, do things. But the whole time she's, like, struggling with it because she identifies so strongly within herself and her Stark name and the family and Westeros and all that, that she has a hard time adapting to these new rules of being nobody. And then at the end of the season, she just admits that she's Arya Stark and she goes out and does stuff. But like, while that's a great little arc that she had, it was not a 10-episode arc. That easily could have been done in like 3 or 4 episodes. She could have gone to Westeros in the middle of the season to kill Walder Frey, you know, working around other things obviously, and then done more stuff for the end of the season. But she just had like a really long, drawn-out story arc that felt really unnecessary, unfortunately, because the character is such a big piece of the show. And then because she's such a big piece of the show, you have a lot of focus on this storyline that doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it. Speaking of characters not having depth to their story arc, what the fuck, Rickon? Rickon disappeared at the end of season 2, shows up in the middle of season 6, and dies. Why was he even included in the story, George? If Rickon dies like this in the books, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. And while we're on the subject of Starks dying, can we please stop killing the dire wolves? It makes me sad. I think there's only one left anyway, so we're just counting down the days now. Because it's Ghost, and he's the best one, but he wasn't even like the second half of the season. Sticking with the Starks, Benjen Stark finally returns to the show, you guys. But again, he doesn't really do much. He saves them, they kind of walk around, takes them to the wall, and then he fucks off. For all the speculation and theories that have been circulating the whole internets about what Benjen Stark has been doing for the last 5 seasons north of the Wall, Nothing, apparently. Like, this whole list is just stuff I didn't like about the Starks. Because up next, Sansa. Come on, girl, what are you doing? And promise, this one's not about, like, Starks not having good storylines, because I really like the Sansa storyline throughout this season. Sansa's story arc, season by season by season, has evolved way more than any other character except for maybe Jon. But, like, remember when everybody hated Sansa in season 1 because she's like, oh, Joffrey, I love you. You're totally not gonna kill my father. And now she's, like, running half the country. Good for her. But I have a huge issue with her getting mad at Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards. How dare she give him shit for attacking too early because she's like, wait till we have more men. Meanwhile, she's got a fucking army on the way, she didn't even fucking mention to him. Come on! So I'm looking at this list, and other than, like, the specific moment with Sansa, all the things I didn't like about the season were just storylines not having any payoff, or teases of things not having payoffs, or characters not amounting to the full potential of what they could have been. And I get it, the show is only 10 episodes, you have hundreds of characters who are doing things, and I probably could list a bunch more stuff. Like, where'd Brienne go? Where's Podrick? Like, the show clearly has to prioritize who it gives its screen time to. I get it, I understand. But some of these things, they could have had a bit more substance to it. Like, especially with Melisandre, that's a big tease that no follow-up at all, like none. She didn't even die. And Benjen and Rickon coming back, who've been missing for years from the show, no payoffs at all, nothing. But I have to give the show credit for, they surpassed the books and they're like, fuck it, let's just throw it all out there. This season moved so fast that it just kind of left some stragglers behind, and I guess that's gonna happen in a show like this. I mean, every episode is essentially like a small, short movie with the budget and stuff, but I just feel like a couple of loose ends could be tied up, but I guess there's 2 more seasons left, so maybe Benjen can do something there. Maybe they will explore a bit more of Dorne. Melisandre, I'm sure, is going to play an important role. And that is about as negative as I am going to ever get on this channel. If you like this video, hit the like button, and if you really like this video, hit that subscribe button, because I'm putting out videos every single week, usually twice a week, and yeah, I think they're okay. You probably should too. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BevanBoychuk, and until next time, folks, I am out like a light.